Friends, it's Alexandra here. I have not been live in a long time. I'm going to go ahead and give us some hearts to say hello. What is going on? Friends, what is up? Thank you for joining me. So for those of you that have met me before, my name's Alexandra. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. I was diagnosed with HSV-1 in 2003 and HSV-2 in 2011. So I've been living with HSV for a very, very, very long time. I have dated, I have been single, I'm married to the love of my life. I also have babies. I've been pregnant. I've delivered. I've lived my life with HSV. So this is your opportunity. This is your Q&A. It's your opportunity to ask questions. What it's like to live with HSV. What does it mean to be diagnosed? What is it like to disclose? What is it like to have an outbreak? What happens if you don't disclose, which I'm not a fan of and I do not condone, but we can talk about that. What happens if we get rejected? So this is your opportunity to ask your questions. I do them in the order in which they are received, and we go through it like that. So one of the biggest questions we were talking about this morning on our support group. So I do a support group that is twice a week. We have a live meeting twice a week with people all over the world from every country, every age, every walk of life. Anyways, today's big theme was focusing on disclosing, just focusing on dating. Should we go to sites that are HSV specific, or should we go to sites that are, the regular conventional type dating? And so that goes around and around in so many different ways. My big thing is you need to get your boundaries set first. You need to decide what is important to you, what's important to you in dating. So first of all, are you dating because you're just want to go out and have ice cream? Are you dating because you want to meet your soulmate? Are you dating because you want something casual? Are you dating because you want friends with benefits? What is the purpose? What are you looking for? Are you dating out of a rebound? Are you dating to show something? So those are some questions you need to ask yourself. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Those are some questions you need to ask yourselves first. Set those boundaries. If you're looking to just get out there and meet people and you're very nervous about discussing your HSV status, then maybe the herpes only dating sites might be a good place for you to start. It's a way to get out there. It's a way to have conversations. That initial that initial conversation that you have to have is already there. There's a mutual understanding. With that being said, I am not a huge fan of putting yourself in a corner or putting yourself in a box of saying, I have to date somebody with herpes because I have herpes. I believe that that's holding you back, and I believe that that's letting the virus, quote unquote, virus win. I'm a big fan of, if you want to date someone, destiny's not going to get in the way. Fate's not going to get in the way. Find the person that you love and you want to be with. So those are kind of some things that I'm focusing on. I saw someone ask a question here. Let me go back. As far as an outbreak, have I ever gotten intimate while having one, or does my partner care if you do? So my husband and I have been together since 2014, so 11 years, I guess. And have I had an outbreak and not known it? Probably. Have I later on that day said, oh man, I ended up getting an outbreak today? Yes. Have I knowingly had an outbreak and been intimate with my husband and not disclosed it? Absolutely not. Have there been outbreaks that are not in the region where he would come in contact? And have we been intimate? Yes. So does my husband care? Well, yeah, he doesn't want to get it, obviously, right? But have I ever gotten intimate? So again, so I get them in areas that are not necessarily around the opening, around the vaginal opening, right? So I get them on my tailbone. I get them kind of up my spine. So in that case, there are situations where we can be intimate, and my husband is aware and he's making that decision. So it's not me making the decision for him, or me like just going, beating around the bush, for lack of better words. It's something that he's made that decision that he's okay with. Does that answer your question? Let's see. Thanks for raising awareness. You're welcome. Dusty, thanks for the hands. But back to disclosing and dating, what do you guys think about dating someone that already has HSV? Is that something that you think is important? Or are you like, no, I can date whoever? I'm really curious to see what you guys think and where you're at with that. Again, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I've missed you guys. It's been a while. I had a baby, so my life as a mom, right? Life as a mom. Let's talk about that. Being a baby. I've had 2 babies. They were both vaginal deliveries. They, at the end of the last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, they put me on Valtrex, which was an antiviral that I'm sure some of you are prescribed right now, and they put me on Valtrex to reduce and ideally prevent outbreaks from happening at the time of delivery. And so with that, I was able to have 2 vaginal deliveries with both my sons, and both of them were successful, and neither one of my sons have herpes. So that it is possible to be pregnant. It is possible to have vaginal deliveries if you wish. You also can elect to have a cesarean, a C-section, if that's something you prefer or want to have. I recommend getting in touch with your doctor, getting in touch with your physician, also talking to the other parent, to the dad. What does he feel comfortable with? What do you guys want to do? Where are you at? So what does your doctor feel comfortable with? What does the dad feel comfortable with? And what do you as the mother feel comfortable with? Where do you want to go with that? I would be with someone with HSV, just be honest and let me know about outbreaks. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. And that's what a marriage, that's what a relationship is about. It's all about communication and telling your partner where you're at. Yes, ma'am, it does. As far as medications, how do you feel about medications that's prescribed? So when I was first diagnosed, I took the medication. I was on it for 3 years, and it did prevent outbreaks for 3 years. I didn't have outbreaks for 3 years, and I took it because I thought that was the only answer. I took it because I was dating. I took it because I was dating someone that didn't have herpes. After the person that gave me herpes, I dated someone that didn't have herpes. I also dated my husband who doesn't have herpes. So that's what I felt most comfortable with. Now I do not take the antiviral. I don't take it daily. I don't take it when I have outbreaks. The only time I take it is when I am pregnant and going to have a baby. I did not take it during the 9 months of my pregnancy. I only took it the last couple weeks of my pregnancy just to prevent outbreaks. Do you have to have an outbreak to give it someone? No, and that's a big one. You don't have to have an outbreak to give it to somebody. There's something called asymptomatic shedding, which is meaning you have no signs, no symptoms. Are you more contagious with asymptomatic shedding than you are with an active outbreak? Obviously with an active outbreak, you have live viral DNA. It's there, it's liquid, it's there. It's you're pretty much going to transmit it if you have an active outbreak. The thing about asymptomatic is the person has no idea. So when they say there's no symptoms, there may be people that have symptomatic shedding. They may have tingles. They may have maybe a little nerve pain, things like that. And that would mean that you are most likely contagious. You're not sure if you have it yet. A negative Western blot at 7.5 weeks, but retesting at 12. I would say if you're negative at 12.5 or 7.5 weeks, that's a great sign that you are negative. But yeah, to be sure, you would want to go back and do it again. I get HSV. I have HSV type 2, and then suddenly a year later, I got an outbreak on the lips. Is that HSV type 1? So type 1 and or type 2 can go in either location. It can go oral or it can go genital. So typically HSV1 is going to reside orally. typically HSV2 is going to reside genitally. However, there's many, many people now that have genital HSV1, and then there's people now that are getting oral HSV2. The reason why it's becoming more aware, I don't know if there's more people with HSV2 recently, or it's just that we are testing more. So for you, Naz, what I would suggest, if you want to know, you could do a couple of things. The easiest would just go get an IgG blood test, and the blood test would tell you if you have HSV1. So that's going to be the easiest. If you have HSV1 in your system and you want to know if specifically what you're getting on your mouth is that HSV1 or HSV2, then you have to have it swabbed the next time you have an outbreak. What do I need to do? I'm clueless. I'm now relying on antivirals. So for me, I decided to take supplements. I decided to look at my diet. There's things called arginine and lysine. They're essential amino acids. They're proteins. One feeds the virus. One suffocates the virus, for lack of better words, helps prevent replication of the virus. At Life with Herpes, I have a ton of information on there about lysine and arginine. I take supplements that are very, very helpful. So I take supplements that are lysine. I take them daily, and they are very helpful in helping prevent the replication of the virus. So that's what I do. There's some other supplements I take, like lysine, Monolaurin, and that is where I'm at. Where have I been? I had a baby. It was like a year ago, but I had a baby in summer, and I have 2 kids. I was being a mom. So you're more likely to pass it with having symptoms. You're more likely to pass it with symptoms, yes, but you can also pass it without symptoms. Do I think there's a cure for the virus? I have no doubt there is a cure. I have no doubt that we will find a cure. It's the answer of when will we find a cure. I just think we're far too advanced in the medical realm to not have a cure. The next question is, there's an answer to a cure, there's an answer to a vaccine. A lot of times people will coincide the word cure and they will coincide the word vaccine. Will there be a vaccine? Again, I'm sure there will be. Will there be something that can prevent transmission? Absolutely. So again, what's a cure? What's a vaccine? People talk about quote unquote a cure to HIV. There's not, in my understanding, there's not a cure. There's some sort of medication that prevents the transmission. Is that a cure? No, that's a medication that prevents transmission. So we have to be very careful how we use the word cure. And will there be something, like we could say, yeah, there is one, right? We have a medication right now that lessens the transmission rate. We have a medication right now that lessens the outbreaks. It's called Valtrex, and it's been on the market for the last 40 years. Don't you get mad or angry when I have an outbreak? I used to get really mad. I used to get angry, but at this point, it's not worth it. It doesn't change it. It doesn't make it go away, You're afraid if you get it, you'll never have the motivation to take care of yourself anymore. Like you don't care, like it doesn't matter, life doesn't matter, like it's a waste, like you're wasting oxygen on the planet if you have it. I wouldn't go that far because the majority of the population does have it. And I would invite yourself to look at where that's coming from. Where's that stemming from? Why don't you feel like you matter? And I meant to ask, it's more common to pass it when there's no symptoms at all. Like, yes, there is asymptomatic. It is common to pass it asymptomatically. Is there a juice that will make it go away? There are people claiming that they have some magic elixir. I have never taken it. I do not condone it. Yeah, there's people that claim there is one. Your outbreaks only come when you don't follow your diet. You have HSV2. Good to see you too, my friends. Do I get mad? No, I can't get mad anymore. Does Valtrex cause stomach issues? Okay, so that's interesting. When I took it after not taking it for a number of years, I had the worst stomach ache. My husband almost took me to the hospital. I was in so much pain. So for me, it did. Side effects of the Valtrex: hair loss. What's the transmission of male passing to female? I believe with no outbreaks, no antiviral, no condom, the transmission rate is about 10% of the time from male to female, from female to male with the same symptoms. Again, guys, do your own research on it. These things change, but it's about less than 5%. So it's easier to transmit to females than it is from female to male. I didn't lose my hair on Valtrex, but people have lost hair on Valtrex. Would my husband be upset if he got herpes? No, he wouldn't be upset. I mean, he doesn't want it, but he wouldn't be upset. All right, guys, I have got to bounce. It was so good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I will be back. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. This is like my half a heart because I'm holding my phone. Thanks again for the hearts. I will see you all soon.